Hey folks, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of a pretty low-cost smart backpack that I found recently on Amazon. This one sells for around 35 bucks and you can find it in the links down below. It has a pretty modern design, but more importantly, it's part of this newer generation of what I call smart backpacks. It's not quite to the same extent as expensive model we've seen in the past that retail for 200 or 300 that feature tricks like GPS tracking, panic modes, integrated power banks, but this one does have already a full-sized kind of USB port, and you can use it to connect to an existing power bank and then easily charge devices on the go. It also has convenient pockets both on the front and on the back to secretly hide and tuck away phones as well as passports and documents. The bag itself is also waterproof, or at least water resistant on the outside, and has kind of an interesting kind of fabric look to it, even though it is again quite durable and rugged. One of the limitations of this particular KAKA series bag, which is again part of this current collection, is the fact that it doesn't feature water bottle holder. So instead we have these pockets which are useful for cables, accessories, and tech. But if you have a water bottle, it's a little bit harder to put it easily into this bag without it having in an awkward position and it tipping over. So that's something to keep in mind. It's more useful for kind of traveling as a messenger bag, for laptops, for dry clothing, things like that, than food, perhaps. The front here also features a reflective strip, which doesn't exactly glow in the dark, but it does catch light very easily and almost looks like it is an LED strip. So that means at night, if you are carrying it with you, it's easier to illuminate and people will see you better if you're biking. As far as pockets are concerned, again, this is quite impressive. The fact that even from the front here, we see there are already 3 pockets, one on either side, one in the front, and of course there are 2 more internal compartments I'll show you in a moment, in addition to additional pockets on the inside and on the back. So flipping the backpack over, we can see what I was talking about. This is one of the secret compartments that's directly integrated into the padded foam that's pretty soft on your shoulders and comfortable. But again, this is a good compartment for things like credit cards or passport if you're traveling light. Also, it's a good tuck away spot for a phone, since you can just basically reach behind your back and then tuck away the phone there, instead of it being on the outside pocket, which is easier to be stolen if you're in a metropolis like, I don't know, Beijing, for instance, or on the streets of, let's say, New York. So this is a pretty interesting and convenient solution for that. The straps, of course, are adjustable. They're not quite as padded, as thickly as padded as I would want from a more expensive backpack, but they are fairly comfortable. As far as carrying textbooks, I would say it's a little bit harder since the size isn't huge. It's not the, again, largest backpack, so it's best suited for ultrabooks, laptops, tech, and gear. If you have a few journals, it will work, but really thick and dense textbooks for students will be slightly harder to fit in here. All right, so looking at the laptop from the side, this is where we can see that aforementioned smart charging port, which is again making this slightly more unique than other backpacks on the market. It features a dedicated port. It doesn't come with additional cables, so you can plug in any USB-based cable like Lightning or micro USB. It features that full socket there, and from there you have to use your own power bank. There's an internal cable that you need to wire up yourself, but afterwards you can simply kind of plug it into a phone, and you can see that charging has started automatically. It works pretty well, and then of course you can carry this, or you can put it into that secret compartment I showed you earlier. So again, one of these smart features. Also, there's a slight hood or a lid to this charger. You can see it kind of goes downwards. That protects it a little bit better from rain. Opening up the back, we can see that the accents on the inside are made of this really acrylic blue color. It's going to be a hit or miss depending on your preferences, but it does look very different. And from here we can see I've connected to the power bank that I'm using to charge up this phone. So again, this cable here that plugs into the power bank is integrated. It's pretty long and runs on the outside all the way to the port that I showed you guys earlier. So it's internally wired up and ready for you to plug in your own power backpack. The benefits of this is that it's very easy to swap out. So if you have a power bank that's dying, you can just pop in another, versus smart backpacks that are more expensive where the power bank is usually integrated and not user replaceable. Furthermore, if you want a larger battery pack, you can just use one that has 20,000 milliamp hours. or if you want to carry something light, you can use something smaller. So it's up to you entirely on how you want to use the power bank feature. On the second kind of layer, this is the power bank one, we have the main compartment, which is used again probably for storing your Ultrabook as opposed to this one. It can also be used to store journals. You can see there is a lid that can easily store and protect a laptop computer to prevent it from getting scratched or damaged with other electronics, so it stays in place a little bit more snugly. And there's also this kind of secure Velcro strap which you can use to tuck away the laptop without any problems. In my testing, I could fit a 14-inch laptop on here without any problems, but bulkier, full-sized 15.6-inch laptops sometimes were a little bit more difficult to fit in. If you have a laptop that has very thin bezels, like the LG Gram or the XPS series by Dell, then a full-size laptop will work without any problems. But the Toshiba that I tested it with was a slightly older model. It's quite boxy, and it was harder to fit a full-size unit in here. So if you have an even larger laptop like 17 inches, this is probably not going to be the backpack for you because it's a little harder to fit in. But really this is meant as a light smart backpack. Things for carrying, you can carry along the iPad Pro, other tablet computers, convertibles, their chargers, cables, power banks, and phones without any problems. So it's meant for, again, pretty light kind of commuting purposes. So again, this is the internal kind of laptop compartment, a bit of branding by the manufacturer. And then again, this inside here is padded pretty well too if you want to put in any documents, etc. Finally, you can see that there is a third kind of pocket sandwiched between the front layer and the back layer. This is kind of a mini pocket for carrying maybe even another wallet or something. It's a very small pocket, but it is present. That's more or less it for this KAKA series smart light backpack. Overall, this is actually a pretty good value considering that it has a stylish appearance and an abundance of pockets, in addition to being fairly water resistant and durable. It's a great fit if you are someone who travels light and you want a good gadget bag for Ultrabooks, tablets, phones, and all the cables that you would possibly want. Perhaps not as ideal for students that have a ton of textbooks, but if you use a Kindle or a Ultrabook, you should be fine here. And I like the fact that it has that really smart charging functionality, which is easy to swap out for additional power bank units. The price is also very competitive. So you can check out more details in our article coming out soon, but again, this has been our video. I would say that overall this is kind of a semi-smart backpack. It's not fully smart. It doesn't have GPS tracking and some of the extras we've seen on more expensive models, but at the same time it's definitely a step up compared to a regular backpack that you may find in stores. And again, for 35 bucks, you really can't go wrong. So thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews.